What is going on, everybody? It is episode 715 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I am here once again on this Friday afternoon with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, crisis actors. It's Mary. We are back. Happy Friday. Unlike most Fridays, we do not have a special guest with us on the show because our special guest is joining us on Monday next week. So should we announce that now or leave that for the end of the show?
No, I'm just going to do it right now. You know why? You know why?
Why?
Because
you've given up.
We were having doubts about the show today. Neither of us were really feeling it before the show. Literally what you just saw, me going like this, that's me like artificially hyping myself up to make it work. But guys, on Monday we have a very special guest in the studios, the mastermind behind Screen Junkies, and in my opinion, one of the greatest internet series of all time, Honest Trailers. He now runs Popcorn's Planet on YouTube, which is closing in on 1 million subs. Andy Signor is going to be in the studio with us. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been a long time in the making as well because we've had multiple scheduled dates for him to be on the show. It didn't end up working out for whatever reason, and finally the day is here. So that's really exciting. Another thing that's really exciting is we've got another few new 1,000 subscribers to the channel just since yesterday. The channel is growing incredibly fast, and we have now reached past 150,000 subscribers, which is a milestone.
It is.
I guess
it is.
It's not as big of a milestone as reaching 100K, obviously, and we still don't have our play button, but we're very happy about that.
Andy Signor has made some of the most, I'll tell you this. We went back through last night and I showed Olivia some old Honest trailers from the early seasons of it. Mainly the original Honest trailer for Home Alone, which is amazing, and I recommend everyone go watch, along with the Honest trailer for Independence Day. And in a lot of ways, Screen Junkies, in those like things like Honest Trailers, things like Everything Wrong With series, they made a lot of inroads into Hollywood and changed how movies were made because, you know, you're getting called out for the plot holes and the little itty bitty nitpicks now. So he's off doing his own thing right now. He is doing a whole bunch of coverage on Diddy right now. Deep dives, talking to people, and that we're going to get into that with him. It's going to be a lot of fun, but we still got today to get through, and we're going to do it. We're going to get through today. And yes, we did hit 150.
I don't know if it's visible, but my eyelid is literally twitching. Like involuntarily right now. What is happening to me?
It's going to be okay. We're going to be okay.
Help.
What are we talking about today? Oh, actually, no. Before we get started, guys, hit the like button on this video. Again, if you're new here, hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel. If you have not subscribed here yet already, perhaps you saw the channel. This is your first time watching live. You should go and subscribe to the channel. It's going to be a lot of fun. What are we talking about? Andrew Schulz is in the news. So is Jerry Seinfeld, because we do this every couple of months. Comedy is under attack.
I know, it's just so trite to say it, but we have some relevant examples in the news. Andrew Schulz just got censored for interviewing Trump, and Jerry Seinfeld walked back his comments about political correctness.
That wasn't that long ago. That was a couple months ago, right? He made his Pop-Tarts movie and then was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, he made his Pop-Tarts movie. He said that he doesn't like wokeness, and now he's saying he was wrong. He regrets saying that.
So we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about those examples. We're also going to talk about a couple of different stories that kind of connect what Gen Z's purpose is when it comes to work, when it comes to snacks, when it comes to hobbies. There are actual people who work for companies that are saying that Gen Z are putting Brat Summer and Harry Styles enthusiast on their job applications. If I would have known that I could do that years ago, I would have done that with movies and television. Like I said, when we started this channel, it was because Tim heard me talking about the X-Files ad nauseum, like just not shutting up about it. If I would have known I could have put X-Files enthusiast on a job application, I'd have done that years ago.
I don't necessarily disagree with trying something creative or unique in a job application or a resume. A friend of mine wanted to get a job at a digital marketing firm, and she recorded this whole infomercial for herself where she was basically playing this Elle Woods Legally Blonde type character, and it was perfect for that specific job because it's a digital marketing firm. So she made it go viral on TikTok and then submitted that as her application, her part of her application for that job, and it worked.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's necessarily like pop culture references in a resume is automatically disqualifying. But could be done well.
They were also talking about how right now Gen Z seems to care more about finding a purpose at their job than the paycheck itself, which is weird because they're always complaining about not being able to own a home and no money, which is a valid
and they're also
concern.
the most nihilistic generation that's ever lived. So yeah, there are a lot of contradicting parts of Gen Z's psyche.
We got that. We're also going to listen to a couple of the voicemails that you guys sent today. Again, if you guys are submitting voicemails, it needs to be questions. It needs to be something that we can engage with. So we're going to go through some of the voicemails today. We're also going to be reacting to this video from a YouTuber who didn't like our takes on the Victoria's Secret fashion show.
Yes, I swear this guy just planted the perfect content right in our laps. He has this debunking channel, I guess, and last night I just randomly scrolled past his video. He said that we were outraged by the Victoria's Secret fashion show and called us, I think, Timcast garbage.
Okay.
So we're going to be reacting to his video. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. And genuinely, if you're watching this, dude, thank you. Thank you for giving us the content. We really appreciate it.
All right, we got that. We got a bunch of other stuff. You ready to go?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's get started. First things first here, ladies and gentlemen. Remember 2 years ago when Megan Thee Stallion was twerking on She-Hulk? Well, she is back.
Yeah, I mean, she's doing this promo for Venom, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Here, let's watch the video first.
Oh, look who calling me. What's poppin', boo? Oh, it's like that.
It's working on you. Why?
Stupid.
It's the dumbest thing ever.
That's why me and you symbiotic.
You're the only one who understands me.
I'll see you soon.
Venom, The Last Stand.
Look, I care more about Venom than I do about She-Hulk. What can I say?
Because Megan Thee Stallion's whole thing, right, is going like, Megan.
So there was also, Venom was also on Hot Ones. I don't know if that one's come out yet.
That's so gimmicky and
It's
stupid.
very gimmicky. It's what they love to do. Look, I don't mind some gimmick marketing. Gimmick marketing is different than throwing a twerking scene in the middle of the show.
Well, sure.
Okay, but if you're wondering if this is going to work for the film, right now it's unfortunately tracking under both of the previous installments of the franchise. The last film opened to $90 million, and the film before that opened to $80 million. Looks like it's going to drop by 10. So it opened to the original to 80. The sequel to 90. I think the original was better than the sequel, which is a problem, right? Like, I do think that the original film was the better Venom movie. Granted, you know, all of the Sony Marvel movies, you kind of have to grain of salt. You're not going there for a masterpiece, nor should you expect that. But I think Tom Hardy is a great actor.
I mean, if you can do better than Madam Web, you're good.
Yeah, you're good. And it's going to open, looks like it's going to open to about $70 million. Hey, that's what Joker opened to, right? Or no, Joker opened like 43.
Joker made like less than 40 million.
Yeah. 40,
actually, its opening weekend.
It's been like, I've already like blocked it out of my head.
Yeah.
We just did those numbers not that long
way
ago.
worse.
But yeah, it's not going to open as high as the other ones, but that shouldn't matter. Theoretically, if the movie ends up being good and it has strong word of mouth, it can still make a ton of money. It just has to have strong holds from week to week at the box office.
We're reviewing this?
Yeah, we're
When did the last one come out?
2022.
I didn't see.
It was before this show was a thing.
No, it was before I was on it.
Yes, it was like in the early
But I
days of the
never watched either of them.
We should maybe get you some homework to watch at least the first one before we see it, because when we reviewed Deadpool and Wolverine, people were very upset that you hadn't seen Deadpool.
Wait, so there were two Deadpool movies before the one we just reviewed.
Yes.
I'm not watching that shit. No.
Watch the first Venom.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Watch the first Venom and give a review.
No,
People would love it. Chat would love it if you gave a review for Venom.
I hate all superhero movies. All of them. All of them. I'm just going to say it. And that's Like, I'm not telling you that you can't like it.
Yes.
It's not for me.
Sketch Therapy says first one was okay, second one was bad. Yeah, the second one, it just kind of felt like Naomi Harris was miscast. Didn't really work for me. I didn't really like it nearly as much as I thought I was going to, but Woody Harrelson. All right, let's move on then, shall we? We'll wait and see. I don't think you're gonna like it. I'll be honest right now. Like if I'm judging my my co-host,
Can you compare it to something? I have no context.
Not really. I mean, it's in the line with the other Sony Marvel movies. Did you see Morbius?
No.
It's better than Morbius.
I haven't seen Morbius,
It's
so I
better
don't
than
even know.
Morbius.
Honestly, if Madam Web had been even like a smidgen better than it was, we wouldn't have liked it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
'Cause
It was
so
just
bad,
bad
it was
enough. It was just bad enough that we found it entertaining.
Right. All right. What is this clip here?
Trump, in a recent interview, addressed the mistreatment of Harvey Weinstein.
Oh.
And I have no idea why or how this came up or why he would say this. We have a $20 from Weary Traveler before we play it. This may have been asked already, but will we be getting a Terrifier 3 review?
No. Though I do recommend, if you are a horror fan, everybody's saying going and see it. Like I was just reading this article today where a bunch of kids are skipping the line. Like teenagers are buying tickets for other movies and going to see Terrifier, which is feels like something that would be part of a bygone era. That's what we did when we were kids.
It is part of a bygone era, though. Like, kids don't really make mischief these days.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
What's interesting is like now most theaters, when you go, at least the ones we go to, have assigned seats, so you can't just walk in and sit wherever you want.
You walk in like shortly after the previews start, so everyone's already in there. You find the free seats. You
wait and you have to then awkwardly. There was this great meme that was going around during before Megalopolis, where this guy says, me and the boys about to make this guy's viewing of Megalopolis the most uncomfortable thing ever, and they bought the 4 chairs surrounding the one guy in the theater who was sitting in the very middle.
That's very Francis Ford Coppola of them, actually.
I liked it. So here's this clip.
We have another 20 from Jose Quintana. Happy Friday, PCC. I didn't read the comics of Venom. Don't think the character is compelling at all. I do plan on seeing Terrifier 3 tonight. All hail the Ghost Empress and her hand. What does that mean?
Your hand.
My hand.
Next week on Monday, what you should do is you should get in the chat, Jose, and let us know what you thought of it.
Yeah, we want to see your mini review on Monday.
All right, so let's listen to this big no-no from Donald.
He says that Harvey Weinstein got schlonged.
Here we go.
It's interesting. I was so amazed that Harvey Weinstein got schlonged. He got hit as hard as you can get hit because he was sort of the king of the woke, right?
So is the idea here is he's not saying he's a good guy, but like his life got derailed?
And yet he got hit. And I figured that...
I'm trying to
No. Listen to...
He wouldn't get hit so hard. But boy, did he get... you don't know him well. I don't know him well. But I watched that. And it was amazing. So when... It's interesting.
So it seems clipped. Like, I'm guessing he goes into more detail or there's more context. Maybe I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt here. But maybe we should go and see if schlonged is in the dictionary somewhere, because that is not a term I've ever heard before.
He got schlonged. Bro got sentenced to prison, and Trump says he got schlonged.
Well, I'm sure he got schlonged in prison, but that's a whole different thing.
Wait, okay. I'm going to send you... I feel like this is a clip that's a little longer. It may provide more context.
Yeah, we definitely need to see if there's context.
Do you have that
one?
one?
Yeah, I got it here. Hold on.
Okay. Well, maybe he has a better explanation in this one.
Yeah. Democrats don't have to be honest. They really don't have to be honest because they're not going to... They will never be accused of anything. It's interesting. I was so amazed that Harvey Weinstein...
I'm sorry, but the top comment just says, "What is getting schlonged?"
I don't want to hear Harvey Weinstein and
He got
schlong
hit
in the same
as hard as
sentence.
You can get hit because he was sort of the king of the woke, right?
The king of the woke.
He got hit, and I figured that maybe he wouldn't get hit so hard, but boy, did he get... you don't know him well. I don't know him well. But I watched that, and it was amazing. So when they do get hit, they get hit. But that's the only one I can think of. Normally, they protect everybody.
Oh, okay. So what he's saying...
They did with Adams, I think, is very suspect.
Trump just called Harvey Weinstein the king of the woke.
Okay.
Meaning of Hollywood,
I guess.
I assume.
Yeah.
And he said it was shocking
that they turned on
that they turned against Harvey Weinstein when normally they protect people like that. I suppose that's what he meant.
Well, the idea is that usually they have a scapegoat, right? So they have to find somebody to sacrifice.
The way people are circulating this clip, and I'll admit, it is a very strange clip, and the choice of words is strange as well. The way people are contextualizing this, they're trying to say that Trump feels pity or sympathy for Harvey Weinstein, or that he's defending Harvey Weinstein, or he's saying that Harvey Weinstein was treated unfairly by the media. That is not what happened in this clip. It was just a weird thing to say. I mean, I just feel like it's a weird way to say it. We know what point he was trying to make. Yeah. He just didn't make it very well.
The problem is when your job... so if you're a politician, right, and your job is to be media front-facing like they are so much, especially when you're on the campaign trail... Yes, if you're a Democrat or a liberal politician, you're going to, for the most part, get coverage by the mainstream media that is going to obfuscate the worst of what you say and try to hide it. Think of like that 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris. Well, his job is to be better than that.
It's not that hard. It's not that high of a bar.
His job is to not hand them the cannon fodder. Mm-hmm. And it's very hard to both be loved for being bombastic and not hand them the cannon fodder. He's also very known for talking stream of consciousness, which gets him into trouble and stuff like that.
But it's more real.
But some other news, which I just found out about yesterday and more people are talking about today, Donald Trump is going to be on the Undertaker's podcast. Yes. So anybody here who's a wrestling fan, if you're like me and you grew up watching The Undertaker, it is one of the funniest transitions to ever make. So you watch this guy who has this 30-plus year wrestling career where he plays The Undertaker, which is this very dark character. He barely speaks. He walks to the ring very slowly. He's very, very dangerous, almost mystical. He has this run in the middle there where he plays the American Badass version of The Undertaker, which is like a biker. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, there's an aura about the character of The Undertaker that went through think of how many presidential regimes he went through, right? Like, we're talking going back to Reagan. Like, this guy...
A dinosaur.
Maybe not Reagan, maybe Bush 1. But the point being that his aura lasted 3 decades. And he's beloved in WWE. He makes the transition once he retires to becoming a full-time YouTuber with a very successful podcast.
Do you watch his?
Yes, I watch. At the very least, I watch the segments of this show. You know, the clips and the shorts that come out. I very rarely have the time to watch the whole thing, but I watched a lot of his one with Kane and some of the other wrestlers. It's really, really good. But Donald Trump is going to be on The Undertaker's podcast, and I imagine he's going to get some pushback.
I guess I just have not been paying attention enough to the news because I had no idea Donald Trump also went on Impulsive with Logan Paul.
Yep.
That was not too long ago. And I think that this was sparked by a conversation about Trump's push to win over the bro vote. Politico released this article last week about Trump's, or at least his campaign's effort to get young men on his side.
What it is right now
going on Full Send podcast as well, going on Andrew Schultz's podcast.
It's called 6 Feet Under with Mark Calloway, by the way, if you're wondering what it is. But I do recommend everybody go check it out. But he kind of has to find that vote for people who weren't going to vote at all, right? Mm-hmm. Like back in 2016, you could think of it as the politically homeless vote. The people who were politically motivated, but maybe they didn't really like Trump but they hated Hillary. Now you're looking for the people because Kamala naturally energizes the female voting demographic because they want to be able to vote on abortion, which is funny because abortion isn't really on the ballot at all in any meaningful way.
It doesn't matter.
But he has to try and energize the vote from people who might just be checked out and not care and not want to vote at all.
Would you say young men are checked out then?
I mean, I can't say because I'm not a 20-something-year-old dude. I don't know. Everyone's kind of in their own bubble, right? Everyone is in their own sphere. We're in a very politically minded area here, given our job. So I can't really speak to whether the Gen Z men are checked out. I know that at least what it appears like to me is that Gen Z women are more political than any previous generation has ever been.
They're louder about
Yes.
social issues and activism on social media, which, as we know, doesn't always translate to real
votes.
life
Yeah.
votes or anything in the real life space. It's just someone typing away on their phone in their bedroom. But if we have any Gen Z males in the chat today, please enlighten us.
I mean, I think they're kind of already, like, it's kind of a moot point, because if they found us, maybe they probably found us from Tim, so
I don't know.
You're already politically active, but
Yeah, we're not gonna have a
if you're new
representative.
here, if you're new here and you are not necessarily familiar with Timcast, let us know if you are politically inclined. Are you going to vote this election cycle? I'd be interested to know what people are going to do, but it'll be interesting to watch that interview, because the Undertaker is he's a great interviewer. He's great at talking, so it's going to be a lot of fun. That one I might actually watch in its entirety.
But why does he go by his real name now?
I mean, that's just, why not?
Why doesn't he go by
Oh,
Undertaker?
it might be owned by WWE.
Oh, I thought you said that that was outdated.
No. John Cena, The Rock bought back the rights to his name.
Okay.
The Rock, when he became
So same goes for the rest of them. Like
they would
he
have
could...
to, yeah. So if I remember correctly, The Rock became like a big investor in the company TKO, which is the owner of both WWE and MMA and the UFC, right? And when The Rock joined the board, I think part of the deal was that he got the rights to his name back. So if he wanted to go by The Rock, he could. But he worked his ass off to be able to go by Dwayne Johnson and be
Right.
known who he was anyways. Why would he want to?
Yeah, I think most people would
But-
refer to him as The Rock still, though.
John Cena, however, everything he does, WWE gets a cut.
Yeah, that is
They
insane.
own his name. And
That
that's
is
his real
really-
name.
That is insane.
Yep, that's bonkers. All right, guys, let's move on then, shall we? So AI is getting crazy, and you're right. It is always this clip. This is the most recycled of all the memes.
Well, it's just we talked about how stock image models are really the victims in society, because
when we're making thumbnails.
these three people in this stock photo have been just deep faked and memed
I feel like
into oblivion.
I'm not going to lie. I think they gave him some mewing time on his chin here.
I thought it always looked like that.
I feel like they added a little bit of mew. I think there's a
Okay.
little bit of a mewing streak that's been added there.
Okay.
Here we go.
I wear the sound effects. I'm disappointed.
I know, right? Their arms are just like blobs.
Yeah, it's not really that great, actually.
I watched a video the other day, so like a short of like a tooth removal, but it's like a 3D animation of a tooth removal, but
Okay.
it had the most
It had
sound effects
for
were
it?
just awful.
Why did you watch that then?
I just did, and by the time
you
I
were
was
just
done,
torturing yourself?
And I was just curious. I went to the comment section. All the comment section were like, traumatized, traumatized, traumatized. Never do this again. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
I mean, if people can watch pimple popping videos and find them satisfying, I
Not
don't know
the same
what
thing.
they are. No, it is the same thing. It's just worse. I will never understand that. If you do that, you've got
Oh, here's another one. Here's a different
Problems.
outcome.
who wins?
Aw.
Oh, they all.
They're friends now.
Okay, I don't know what that ending was, but that was weird.
Okay. It is what it is. It's really funny. So, guys, we got more to get into. We're getting closer and closer to Halloween. Are you excited? Are you a Halloween person? People would assume you are.
They do assume that, don't they?
Yeah.
But I'm not really a Halloween person. I don't watch Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't
Coraline?
watch The Corpse Bride. I don't watch Coraline. I don't like Tim Burton. And I don't know what I'm dressing up as for Halloween, if anything.
Can you refresh me? What did you think of Beetlejuice?
I thought it was like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't care for the first Beetlejuice anyway, so it wasn't like this
liked
huge
the
disappointment
first.
for me.
I liked the first Beetlejuice more than you, but even then, not by much.
Yeah, it just wasn't really my
Yeah.
thing. I'm not a Tim Burton stan.
Okay.
Apologies for disappointing
All
all
right.
of you.
Well, I thought it would be interesting, guys. You know, Halloween's coming up. We live in a global society now. You can no longer just wonder what people are going to be wearing out for Halloween around your place. I've got a map here that's got all of the
Yeah.
biggest costumes in all 50 states.
But here's the weird thing. Why is it just Alaska and Delaware that randomly have rabbit as their most popular costume.
Alaska, yeah, they want rabbits.
Isn't that strange? And then in Hawaii, the most popular one is Maui. Like, they're dressing up as Maui, or is that the character from Moana? Okay, they're not like dressing up as a land mass.
I like that idea better. They just wear like an outline of the.
I don't know.
Yesterday, if you guys were watching yesterday, we covered the fact that they're making a viewfinder, like a ViewMaster, like movie, right?
Okay.
And there was a picture of a lady wearing like a life-size ViewMaster costume, and I was like, where do you even find that?
And why? She made it herself.
So let's go through some of these here. Maryland, which is where we are now. Fairy, which seems to be a very, very popular one.
Yeah, that's at the top. We also see witch. Most of them are witch, actually.
Pennsylvania, Stranger
Dinosaur.
Things.
Spider-Man is huge.
Spider-Man is big.
Children are obsessed with Spider-Man, and they will never stop being obsessed with him.
It's why Spider-Man will always kind of eke out Batman as the most popular superhero character of all time, because he's got appeal for the youth demographic.
Stranger Things is up here?
Yeah.
Like, just any character from Stranger Things? Mm-hmm. I'm kind of surprised by that. But here's the thing about Halloween.
What does 1980s mean?
It just means Stranger Things, but you're not calling it Stranger Things.
Oh, okay. It's just, nostalgic 80s.
Which is, it must feel weird for people who actually lived through the 80s to see people dressing up the way they dressed every day.
Well, it's what you see now is the pictures where it says everyone thinks this is what the 80s looked like, and it's the picture of that cup design that's always the squiggly lines that are always on the cup. So like when the 80s actually look like this, and everything's just like brown and the ugliest puce shade of green you've ever seen.
You can smell the mildew.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Not my favorite aesthetic.
I still say, like I was saying this to someone really, really recently. I was rewatching an episode of the show The Following, and there's this montage at the end of this episode in season 2 that plays the song "Coming Right Along" by the Pixies.
Okay.
And I said, I can smell someone's wood-paneled basement when I listen to it. Does that make sense?
I know there's wood paneling in this room.
Yeah.
The wood paneling is in the room with us, but I am so glad that trend died. And I know that people hate on what is called now the millennial farmhouse aesthetic or minimalist farmhouse aesthetic, where everything's white, gray, everything looks the same. There's no originality, but I would much rather have that than everything be like brown, orange, and green and have wood paneling everywhere. I would much rather take the minimalist grayscale than 80s.
Do you have
by far?
Do you have an idea for like in the future when you own a home how you're gonna decorate?
Here's what I wanted to bring up though: Halloween decorations.
Okay. Yeah, you had thoughts on this the other day.
I feel like, well, I did say the other day that it's sociopathic to put decorations around your home for Halloween that are actually terrifying to children.
Yes.
Because isn't the entire point of this holiday that it's really for the children?
Well,
like, I know that some people celebrate it as adults, that's fine, but it's mostly for the children to go trick-or-treating. And then Halloween, as we know, it's just not as special as it used to be.
Yeah,
we can just be honest about that.
Now.
It's not what it used to be. It never will recover because we live in an age of
low trust society.
Low trust. Also, kids are weirdly too mature for their age, so they're not doing whimsical things like that.
Yeah.
They don't want to get up to mischief together because they all just sit in their bedrooms scrolling TikTok. There's no whimsy.
That's sad.
Halloween is not going to be what it used to be ever again.
Do you think that will eventually happen to Christmas as well?
I mean, it already kind of has.
In a way it has, but I don't think to
But
the
you
same
could
extent.
always, it's not to the same extent for sure. But in a way you could blame it on like, oh, you're just looking back with nostalgia goggles. Like you just think that Halloween used to be more special because you were a kid then.
Okay.
But I disagree with that.
It would be more believable
disagree.
for somebody to say that to me because I'm older. You're younger, so you're saying it holds a little bit more weight, that you think it's already different.
I mean, I guess that I aged out of dressing up and trick-or-treating by the time that Halloween was officially dead.
Yeah.
but it's been dead.
Plus, it's
like,
all trunk or treat now.
It's all like, and then there's obviously like the helicopter parents who can't let their kids do anything without supervision, and they don't let their kids participate in Halloween because they think it's evil or something.
You know what I think that is more than anything?
And then there's people getting offended about your costume is like culturally insensitive, and
I think
like
one
it's
of the
just
reasons for the helicopter parents a lot of it has to do with the social media age. Whereas, like, think about the worst group of people you've ever met and then tell me why it's a Facebook mom group.
literally, I swear, Facebook mom groups or just mom groups of any kind on the internet are more toxic than any incel forum you could think of. Like, it's so much worse than people realize.
So what I'm saying is, like, back in the day, we did the whole video on the campaign. It's like, do you know it's 10 p.m.? Do you know where your kids are?
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that now because now you'll have a mom in a Facebook group saying, what do you mean you don't know where your kid is? It's 9 p.m.
You mean like shaming?
You're going to be shamed,
parents?
and you're going to be just not just that. If something, God forbid, if something bad does actually happen, then you become fodder on the internet for people who find your social media pages and make your life miserable. Right? There's no insularity to the world anymore, so you have to live your entire existence worried about the opinions and judgment of others, which leads to helicopter parent behavior.
Well, we wouldn't have as many helicopter parents if we had children who resisted that.
Yeah.
But the children these days, the adolescents these days, don't really care all that much about growing up.
No.
And expressing their independence and individuality.
They're not getting driver's licenses.
And that also extends to the younger crowd that would be, going out at nighttime with their friends. Like, that's just a thing of the past. And people who own homes, like millennials who have bought their first homes, are talking about this amongst each other, saying that they like bought candy and they got ready to hand it out to their neighborhood, and then they get like one knock on the door at Halloween now because nobody goes out.
So that was already happening when I was growing up in Woodbury. It seemed like in our area, because there was two sides of Woodbury. There was like the rich side of Woodbury, which is where all the people who worked at 3M lived, and then there was my side of Woodbury, which is where the rest of the people lived, over by the workhouse. And it felt like all the kids were growing up over there, right? And then my generation of kids, there was a whole generation of kids that I grew up with, but then it felt like there was no more kids. Like we were I was the youngest. Me and my older brother, right? And then the families didn't have any more kids, so there wasn't a younger demographic of children growing up in the same area. Mm-hmm. So once I aged out of trick-or-treating, there wasn't more trick-or-treating happening in that neighborhood.
Yeah, like
it happened over there where they were having more kids.
What's going to happen next? People are going to take their dogs in costumes.
Please don't even give them ideas.
Trick-or-treating. Like, I swear, that's what's going to happen in the future as people have less and less kids. Like, literally, they're going to take their dogs out in costumes.
I never even really thought about that. Probably plays a huge role in it, right? Is the fact that families aren't having 5-6 kids.
The median age in this country is getting higher.
You're having 2 kids, which means theoretically you only have 2 generations of trick-or-treaters, and after that, it's the dad tax on all the candy. The dad just gets to eat the rest of it forever.
Also, this might be outlandish for me to say, but I feel like kids don't value candy anymore. Like, they don't view anything as a treat because they're so damn spoiled all the time.
Think so?
That there's no special occasion to eat candy. It's just all the damn time now.
Yeah.
Is it just me for thinking that?
I feel like it should be me making that point since I'm older. I'm like, and these damn kids, they're just spoiled.
Am I wrong?
One anyway.
Am I wrong though? Like, I swear these kids are so spoiled they don't even view eating candy as a special occasion.
Well, yeah. When back in the day, it's kind of like when they make the joke. They're like kids today with their iPads. Me at the age of 7, in front of the fan to hear it make the sound.
Yeah.
It's like when you're raised with a $1,000 tablet in your hand all the time, maybe the idea of a Kit Kat bar just doesn't hold the same weight that it used to.
No, and you don't value like going out to earn it, walking through the neighborhood all night with your pillowcase.
They could just go buy it on Amazon.
Yeah, exactly.
The hell is this world coming to?
Kids these days, am I right, folks?
Mary is going to be a get off my lawn libertarian in no time with attitudes like this.
Am I giving NIMBY?
You're giving a little bit NIMBY right now. It's I agree.
Damn kids.
These damn kids. I agree. But you know the solve for that would be to go have a huge family. Go have 5, 6, 7 kids, and then let them go trick or treating. We even asked. In our area, we asked our landlord, we're like, so should we get candy? Do people come trick-or-treating? She's like, no, they do trunk or treat. And even our landlord seemed depressed by that.
Trunk or treat? That's literally child neglect. If you make your kid go to trunk or treat instead of trick-or-treating.
All right. It's a depressing thing to think about, but...
That got really dark.
Yeah.
But it's just me being honest.
All right. All right. What would you... actually, you know what? We'll start with Brainrot.
Okay.
What would you like to see after that? Cringe or cute?
We'll see cute after that.
All right. All right. Let's start with Brainrot of the day, ladies and gentlemen. This one's special as far as I'm concerned.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is called the Phantom of the Opera.
The Phantom tax of the opera.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the Phantom of the Opera. No more talk of Chungus. Forget this bussing yet.
I'm here mocking the Rizzler. A glizzy for the Glizzler.
all I want's a Sigma, a world with Mormon time.
And you ain't edgy to KSI and Deji.
I don't even know who the last one is.
Hey, yo, share with me a wholesome grind set. Salt sauce about my skibbity.
Sherry shake that's made by Grimace.
Anywhere you edge, let me.
Willie,
That's all I ask of you.
That was worse than...
I know.
That was worse than Cringe.
There's a 20.
Sorry. The Manic Mustache sent us a 20. I don't see it here, though.
Oh, hold on. Go up there.
Is it?
Yeah.
For Halloween, I gave my kid my old black trench coat and black eyeliner and said, dressed like the 90s. Got a call from the school that day. Apparently, the administrators didn't find the Columbine PE shirt as funny as we did. I really hope that's a true story because it's hilarious.
Yes, it is both Cringe and Brainrot of the day, ladies and gentlemen.
That was worse than the Cringe I picked out. We have a 20 from Not That John Stewart. I would normally say you're better off waiting till after Halloween and buy the discount candy, but
I was at
something.
I was in the store.
I was in the store the other day, and they're already tearing down the Halloween displays for Christmas shit. Stay toxic, my friend.
Look, it's like that everywhere. If you ever go into like a Target, they're already on to the Christmas stuff. Olivia always has to go into like Michael's stores, and they're past the holiday 2 months before the holiday even happens, and they're on.
They're already taking down the Christmas shit right now.
Summer shit's about to go out soon.
They're putting out Easter right now.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
This show is Brainrot.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
All right. So which order do you want to do? Cringe or cute next?
We're gonna watch Cute. Or
Look at cute first? Okay. All right. First things first here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this is a cute one. From Dreamcast Night.
Oh.
This is Mew and her brother Mewtwo. My neighbor found them abandoned at a few days old when they were both bottle raised.
Aww.
I wasn't allowed to call them Chris and Hansen because they were so loud when they were first with us, but that they would be attracting predators if they were in the wild.
That's funny. But they're so cute.
Very cute. Very cute.
So they're on their
guys.
mewing streak.
They are absolutely on their mewing streak right now. And from Shady
meowing
Wilder,
streak.
says, Big Dave forgot to tag you in PCC Pets. Read what he wrote because the puppy needs help. Okay, well, I'm going to open this here. Hashtag PCC Pets. Meet Cotton, adorable puppy. 20 days after adoption, he showed signs of paralysis. Was returned to the adoption agency for higher level of care after $1K in vet bills and recommended being put down. Another $2K, no answers, and $3K projected in future bills. They've got a PayPal link here. I'm gonna open this here actually and see if I can. I don't know if it's still active, but it looks like I can put it in there. Will I get in trouble for doing this?
Do not put your payment information on the screen right now, Brett.
I'm not going to put money in there. I was going to put the link to the link in the chat.
I was just making sure that you weren't about to dox your bank information.
I pull out my bank card and go like this.
Okay. Yeah, that would not be good. We would need to kill the stream. We have another 20 from El Millen. We still go out trick-or-treating with our kids. We lived in Coral Gables, Florida, and people go all out with candy and decorations.
It's weird too. It's like when you go to a place like Florida and everything's still green.
Oh yeah, I mean when it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I love it though. You know, get in the spirit of things.
There are some areas that still celebrate the way that it used to be, but it's getting more and more rare.
Yes,
is the problem.
It's sad. All right. So, guys, go ahead. If you have pets, please go ahead and tag me and the show at popculture_show and at Brett Dasovic on Twitter with the hashtag PCCPets, and we will get them on cue to the day. We always enjoy that. So, all right. Is this JoJo Siwa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, JoJo is our cringe today.
She's back. Here we go.
But she's not the cringe. I think she might not be the cringe this time.
Okay.
Shocking, I know.
Here we go.
Do you think every liberal Democrat should take home a migrant to show their support for the open border?
JoJo! I don't know what language you just spoke,
I was wondering.
Nick taught me today that is above my pay grade. Are you doing
a migrant
Did you want to come in
their
here?
support for Joe Biden's open border policy?
Come
The
in,
mayor of New York
Chris.
City.
It's all right, JoJo.
I think the world needs love and happiness.
Bro, she's driving a car that's painted in graffiti.
It's painted with her face. You can see.
You always have an
See our
opinion,
viral
Joe.
video when I was shooting you and the tour bus came. She's just screaming. There we go.
That's her face.
Bro has to work on his delivery.
Why on earth would you ask JoJo Siwa what she thinks of Joe Biden's open border policy? Regardless of what you think she's gonna say, why do we care?
It's really funny. She turns to the camera. She's like, actually, mass immigration has been an issue going on in
She
America.
just goes on a filibuster rant about. She actually feels really strongly about it. No, like she's right. That's like so above her pay grade, and she's not the person you should be asking about that at all. But she looked really pretty in that video.
Yeah,
rare for her.
They're saying like, why not ask her that? It's like, well, because. I guess the point is not to get a coherent answer because you're not expecting a coherent answer from JoJo.
Expecting?
I don't know if JoJo Siwa has ever been one known to talk about immigration.
No, she's never talked about it ever.
I get it. If you want to look, there's a lot of celebrities that fancy themselves politicians, right? Okay. There's a lot of celebrities. If you want to go up and ask Dave Bautista what he thinks about illegal immigration, go ahead. He seems to have a lot to say on politicians and Donald Trump all the time. Okay? But it's like if it's not their bag.
That was just definitely not her bag.
And they're just a generic liberal or even a generic leftist, but they don't talk about politics. You can just kind of infer what they probably believe maybe from past behavior or things like that. Like why? Like they didn't earn that. Like there's plenty of celebrities who have earned that question. I don't see the point in doing it here.
I think she actually came out of this looking better than the paparazzi.
Yeah, and she's like, look, it's above my pay grade. What I don't
Bye.
know. Yeah, like,
I'm gonna drive away in my car that's painted in my own face. It's kind of a flex, right?
All right, let's go ahead. Let's get started then. Let's talk about how comedy is suffering right now.
Earlier this year, Jerry Seinfeld was making the rounds in the media promoting his Pop-Tart movie, Unfrosted. And he took that opportunity to rail against the politically correct culture that he said at the time was ruining comedy for everyone. And now he has updated his point of view on this to make it more socially acceptable. He has backtracked completely, and now he claims he regrets saying that and that he was wrong. So I'm just going to read to you what he originally said.
This is why you're the one in charge of this podcast, because
I'm in charge.
Yeah, that's why you're in charge
to me.
Yeah, I'm saying, because like if I was reading this, I would just assume that everyone's read the original.
Oh,
because we talk about this stuff so much, you forget that you have to go back through.
Well, let's not forget. Let's hold Seinfeld accountable
for his past comments.
So this is what he said in his interview with The New Yorker. I think this was 6 months ago. He said, "It used to be that you would go home at the end of the day and people would go, oh, Cheers is on, MASH is on, oh, Mary Tyler Moore is on, All in the Family is on. Where is it? Where is it? This is the result of the extreme left and PC crap and people worrying so much about offending other people. When you write a script and it goes through 4 or 5 different hands, committees, groups, here's our thought about this joke. Well, that's the end of your comedy. With certain comedians now, people are having fun with them stepping over the line and us all laughing about it. But again, it's the stand-ups that really have the freedom to do it because no one else gets the blame if it doesn't go down well. He or she can take all the blame themselves." And he basically went on to say that the culture is bogged down by worrying about sensitivities and its political correctness, wokeness, etc., etc. Now, when we covered this, I said this is annoying because you waited until 2024 to talk about sensitivity in the world of comedy and you're Jerry Seinfeld, and now people are, patting you on the back for it. It just didn't seem like anything but convenient timing to me.
Yes.
Because you're waiting for other people to solve the problem before you point it out.
A lot of people have been doing that. So there was a clip going around yesterday. I think Dom Lucra posted it. It was an old clip of Snoop Dogg saying like, F Donald Trump and he's a racist and all his fans are racist, or all his supporters are racist. But it was like an old clip, and he had like since come around earlier this year to be like, yeah, I don't know, he's not such a bad guy. It's like, and then everybody's like, oh, I always thought I liked that guy.
I always liked the
cut of his jib. Yeah.
So it's just people coming around to a certain issue that they deemed crazy previously in previous years where it was less fashionable.
Well, look, people were
saying,
that's
what it seemed like to me.
People were saying yesterday that Jim Gaffigan was at the dinner last night, and he was the Al Smith dinner or whatever. And Jim Gaffigan is a famously anti-Trump guy who got schooled about J6 by Joe Rogan last year. People are allowed to learn new things and change their perspective, but you should always be hesitant when it comes to celebrities doing this, because
why they're doing it.
Yes. So the idea here is like, look, yes, you're allowed to grow, change your perspectives, find new information that leads you down a different path. But then you have to wonder, is it that, or is it just, this is socially acceptable now, thus I am going to take this position?
And are they pandering to you, trying to sell something to you, including
so buy my new
Pop-Tart movie?
Yeah.
So Jerry Seinfeld went back on these comments the other day. He expressed regret in this recent interview on a podcast. He said, I did an interview with The New Yorker. I said that the extreme left has suppressed the art of comedy. I did say that, and that's not true. It's not true. There were 2 things that I have to say I regret saying and I have to take back. One of them I didn't say, but people think I did, so just the same. I said I don't play colleges because the kids are too PC and you can't do comedy for them. Seinfeld said he never said that, and he noted that he plays colleges all the time, including the Duke University commencement speech literally this year.
Yeah, that was earlier this year.
I have no problem with kids performing for them. So that's funny, because the last time that we talked about Jerry Seinfeld making his original comments about political correctness, I was like, weird, this is new for him. And everyone in the comments is like, no, he was just calling college students woke. Well, I don't know what to believe anymore, because Seinfeld himself said he never said that.
Yep.
And he says that he basically needs to answer for it regardless because people think that he said that.
I mean, that's actually a very interesting separate discussion you could have about it.
The narrative.
It doesn't matter whatever you actually say, because what you'll end up having to answer for or respond to will be how what you've said is interpreted, not what your actual words are. Me and you have this discussion all the time off air about the infuriating nature of having your words be misinterpreted. For me, it's one of those things where speaking almost feels pointless sometimes, because very rarely, and this is more a fault of my own, where I feel like the point I'm trying to make in the actual spirit of whatever my argument is or whatever this discussion is, very rarely is ever captured.
Well, you're rarely going to even understand what you mean, let alone expect anyone else to.
Correct.
So that is a struggle that I understand. Seinfeld is using the Uno reverse card on his comments to Tom Papa on his podcast. This was the recent interview. He said, does culture change, and are there things I used to say that I can't say, that everybody is always moving? Yeah, but that's the biggest, easiest target. You can't say certain words, whatever they are, about groups. So what? So he entirely backtracked, and now he thinks that it's okay, and it might actually be a good thing that the culture has deemed certain words about certain groups unacceptable.
The second part of his comment there, he says, the accuracy of your observation has to be 100 times finer than that just to be a comedian. I'll give you an example of somebody who does it really, really well, and that's Ryan Long. So when he made woke versus racist, right? When he made the thing about a celebrity, whether they should support Israel or Palestine, he is a very good example of someone who can find an issue and dig through it and bring out a nuanced bit of humor that is still doable. And Joe Rogan has said this as well, where he said, whoever said you can't do comedy anymore is full of shit. Like, you can still do comedy. People are still doing comedy specials. None of that is true. Now, if you want to talk about how comedy is perceived through mainstream press or the type of humor that you're going to find on network television or basic cable, yeah, that's a little bit different. But you made a really interesting observation earlier where you said it's not comedy that's died. It's the ability to be funny with people you only kind of know.
Yeah. Stand-up specials, that's free. That, you can pretty much do whatever you want. Dave Chappelle exists, right?
Yes.
But maybe comedy isn't under attack the way that humor itself is under attack.
Correct.
And you are not actually in a place in the culture where you feel free to make off-color jokes with acquaintances, perhaps people that you aren't the most comfortable with yet, the people you aren't extremely close with that you can't trust not to record you surreptitiously saying something offensive as a joke. That's really the attack on comedy that's happening. It's not about famous comedians. It's about normal people's ability to crack jokes.
Have you seen them? There's a whole meme, like there's a whole sub meme of like me combing through my friends list to show who I can send this particular meme to. Like, you tailor your meme sending abilities depending on the person.
Yeah, it's that stepping on eggshells that affects normal people. And I said before that cancel culture affects normal people, not celebrities.
Exactly. Somebody in the chat just said, Oren Montgomery says that's because Dave Chappelle has FU money.
Exactly.
Yes, and he'll get that special with Netflix because he's a guaranteed draw for them. Right? When Jerry makes those comments about the accuracy of your observations and he talks about you can't say certain words, whatever they are, versus groups, so what? Well, that's because that's what we call pulling the ladder up behind you.
Yeah, and it's a different story when somebody records you on Snapchat saying something that's an off-color joke, and then you get your college admission revoked.
Yeah.
Okay? And you're not Jerry Seinfeld, you're not Dave Chappelle, you're not Jim Gaffigan or any of these people who essentially have not entirely, but they have, for the most part, free range to joke about whatever they want.
I also remember, maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, I remember comments a long time ago about Jerry Seinfeld saying that YouTube was like the worst thing for comedy. Like
Really?
it kind of seemed like he was more in the camp of like, we need the ivory tower.
That's a little bit of a boomer take,
Yeah.
because I think that people who do sketch comedy on social media are far more creative than
I still think
the
that
establishment on SNL.
Instagram skits are still a far better place to find creative comedy. You just showed me one before the show of a lady who made this.
She made a music video about her boyfriend breaking up with her, basically.
And it was great. I actually made a contrary point. I said 20 years ago, she would have channeled us into making a great romantic comedy or like some movies. And you said starring Kirsten Dunst. And that's probably true. But now it becomes an exercise in narcissism where you turn your creativity inwards to deal with your own problems.
I mean, I don't think that YouTube ruined comedy. I think that it changed the landscape such that something like SNL will not exist as it once did.
It won't have the relevance that it used to.
SNL skits, if you watch them now and you're in like an actual boomer who still watches cable television, you're not gonna understand anything they're talking about.
Nope.
Like, they're making the most chronically online jokes on SNL that only make sense to like stan Twitter. They're like joking about Moo Dang, Chapel Roan, and like, I don't even know. Like, they're like making jokes about Troye Sivan's like Rush music video. Like, who is writing this shit? No, like, I get the joke because I'm 24, but who the fuck is watching this who understands what you're talking about?
It's actually really funny.
It's not relatable.
I would say that is a fault of the network. So
yeah, who's tuning in?
Okay, so here's the idea. Network TV. Your idea is you want the 18 to 49 demographic. That's your magical advertising demo, meaning that you get the highest ad rates for larger viewing demographics within those age ranges. Here's the problem. The only people watching Saturday Night Live are not the 18 to 49 demographic. You should correspondingly have older writers writing for you. But the problem is they also want to include stuff like current events and politics because they can't stay away from it. So they mix it all together when really they should have boomer writers.
Like,
making boomer humor.
Why are you writing skits about Charlie XCX and Brat Summer? I'm sorry, boomers don't know what that is.
Yes.
It doesn't compute to me. Now, I want to temper what I said earlier, that these established comedians just have free range to do whatever they want. That's not entirely true. Andrew Schulz just found that out the hard way by interviewing Trump. He found out that he received significant backlash for interviewing Trump and in fact lost access to some venues that he had booked for his comedy shows. So on his recent podcast episode for Flagrant, him and his co-host discussed their impressions of the interview and the reactions to it. He claimed that a venue for one of his stand-up shows in New York City abruptly canceled just hours after his interview with Trump came out. And he also claimed that the Brooklyn Academy of Music suddenly dropped his booked shows at the venue after the interview aired, which they deny, which is strange. But he said, it's not like we might do it here. It was booked. It was ready to go. We're going on sale this week. We have the entire production team come out for this. It's ready to go. And 3.5 hours after the interview, they cancel shows.
Well, it's Brooklyn.
I mean, what did you expect?
The only thing that could have been worse if it was Williamsburg.
It's not like he had this... he didn't have a reputation for being super politically correct, though, to begin with.
No,
Andrew
he
Schulz.
doesn't. No, he doesn't.
So I don't know why they are overreacting like this, but he continued, read the email because they're canceling my shows, but they're also begging Live Nation to not cancel future shows with them. Like, they still want business, just not this guy.
That's
I don't know if it's
capitalism.
because of the Trump interview, but the day before it came out, we were ready to go and we were going on sale this week.
It's the worst approach to capitalism you can possibly have, right? Where it's you have the right type of person for the show, which makes sense in some respects. Like certain types of, for instance, there is the right type of comedian for the right type of venue, I suppose. Like a comedy show in a certain city might not draw as well, depending on how politically correct that area is.
Brooklyn?
Brooklyn, I don't know. But I would be willing to bet that none of that would matter. That if they just let it go as planned, things would go off without a hitch. Every time this has happened to him before, when they've canceled his shows, he gets another venue and then sells out.
Right.
Instantly.
Just why do these people hate money? I will never understand it.
They do hate money. They don't, well, because they think that your money is bad.
Your money is dirty money.
They don't want your money.
So he actually put up the email he received from this venue on screen on his podcast. And it says in the email, after some internal discussion with leadership, it was decided that, what was it called? Brooklyn Academy of Music is not the right fit for this show at this time. That said, we appreciate you reaching out and we'd love to work with you on future events that might be a better match. Our door is open for a chat about other shows you think might work well in our space. Thanks for considering us. Looking forward to collaborating down the line.
Is this just they're worried that there's positive buzz around Trump and him talking, so it would be bad to do it around election time? Is this election interference?
He said that he found it interesting the venue would drop his appearances just hours after his interview dropped before, quote, the liberal media spun it in liberals' favor. F them and F them forever. I can't say for sure what it is. He doesn't know because they didn't say what their real reason was.
Yeah.
But they the venue hit back at his claims, saying the show wasn't canceled. It was a prospective rental, never contracted. The decision was to pass was made by our senior staff well before the interview with Donald Trump.
Trump did California recently. Isn't he doing a rally in New York City soon? Like Madison
which
Square
is
Garden?
Strange, isn't it?
Like, why are you spending
Why
time
isn't
there?
he in Michigan?
Why aren't you in Pennsylvania?
Or Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, he's always going to be an entertainer. He's always going to want to be loved, especially by
New
the
York.
people who used to be his people. So I understand why he's doing it. It just doesn't make strategic sense. But a good sign for the state of comedy was Trump's stand-up jokes at the Al Smith dinner last night. Yeah. The clips are circulating around right now, and I was not disappointed. So I wanted to show a little clip of his jokes.
Is it this one here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Chuck Schumer is here looking very glum. Doesn't he look glum? He looks glum. But look on
is it
the bright
Chuck Schumer
side,
next
Chuck,
to him?
considering how woke your party has become. If Kamala loses, you still have a chance to become the first woman president.
I want to point out to you that these events, if you ever really are looking for proof that it's a big club and you're not in it, these are those events, right?
This is the club?
If We Hate Poor People was a club, it would be
in the
these
club
types.
We all fam.
Do you want to explain that one to people? I was just seeing the Sabrina Carpenter thing of her. She did that the other day, and somebody's trying to
did
explain
what
that. In the club we all fam.
I don't know. I just thought it was like
it's like a TikTok trend.
Does it come from something?
All of these people
it's a big club and you're not fam.
I said, do you mind if I do that? He said, no, you got to do what you got to do. He's a pro. He's a professional. No, he's a good man, actually. I hate to say it. Don't ever use it against me, please. I'll say this dinner was really setting me back when I say it now. But I've known him a long time. There's a group. Unfortunately, Governor Walz isn't here himself, but don't worry, he'll say that he was. He's going to say his.
I wonder who wrote this.
I used to think the Democrats were crazy for saying that men have periods, but then I met Tim Walz. This a major issue in this race is child care, and Kamala has put forward a concept of a plan. A lot of people don't like it. The only piece of advice I would have for her in the event that she wins would be not to let her husband Doug anywhere near the nannies. Just keep him away.
He didn't want to say
that. That's a nasty one. That's nasty. I told these idiots that gave me this stuff, that's too tough.
He didn't even want to say that one.
all of the usual suspects. For instance, Mayor Adams. I'd like to poke some fun at Eric, but I'm going to be nice. I just want to be nice because I know what it's like to be persecuted by the DOJ for speaking out against open borders. We were persecuted, Eric. I was persecuted, and so are you, Eric. The mayor's dietary restrictions are well known, but I've got to say, I've never met a person who's a vegan who liked turkey so much. There's something about him with turkey. I just found that out today. You know, I haven't been in New York that much.
Wait, Eric Adams is a vegan?
Don't let it.
He's not a vegan. He's a vegan. That's how he said it. He says a vegan.
You're gonna win, Eric. We have another former New York City mayor with us. Frankly, easily the worst in our history. And it's not Michael, that I can tell you. I'm surprised that Bill de Blasio was actually able to make it tonight, to be honest. He was a terrible mayor. I don't give a shit. This is comedy enough.
Okay, that one he actually meant.
Yeah.
He did a horrible job.
There was feeling in that.
That's not comedy, by the way. That's fact. But unlike the rest of New York, at least Bill doesn't have to worry about the criminals. They owe him big. He let them get away with a lot of stuff.
I wish I knew who wrote those jokes for him because he was getting surprised by it as he went.
Yeah.
As he went through it.
I'll still never forget the one where he's like, and I met Hillary and I saw Hillary and she was like, pardon me. And there was like this 2-second pause while everybody waited and then started laughing.
He was like, and I said, when I'm in office, I'll think about it or something.
Look, again, it's all one big club and you're not in it.
It's all one big club and you're not fam.
Yep.
Well, let's read some super chats.
All right, let's do it.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Friday, Brett and Mary. Just heard a new banger. Stop Making Stupid People Famous by Our Lady Peace. It is a bop. Highly recommend."
Well, okay then.
Sounds like a good song. Andrew Jacobs said, "Did you hide Eminem tapes from your parents like bad report cards while Eminem drove around in $1 million sports cars?" What song, chat?
I did not. If that's a song, I don't know it. But I did not hide anything from my parents. I just listened to rap music. Lots of rap music.
Did you get good grades?
No. I was an okay student. I was very focused on literally everything but school.
Were they hard on you about it?
My parents, well, I was a B and a C student. And as long as I kept my grades towards closer
range.
to the B range than the C range, it was fine. Mm-hmm. They knew math was a wash with me.
It was for me as well.
Math was a wash for me, but everything else was like, that's why I was like, I've told the story before, like I had no curfew. I was allowed to pretty much go about, my life unencumbered because I wasn't getting in trouble or, getting brought home by the cops. So I was out skating every night with friends and doing all that stuff. And then no wonder you're tired when you have sign language first class in the morning because you got home at 3 a.m. and had to be up at 7.
Who could have seen this coming?
Who could have seen this coming? No. Stay in school, kids, and pay attention. At the very least, pay attention.
If anything, I wish that I didn't care about getting good grades. It was a total waste of my life and energy.
I'm not saying go to college and drop $80,000.
I'm not talking about college. I'm talking about high school. I should not have cared about getting good grades in high school at all.
Okay, let me rephrase. Unless you're ready to become the type of person who is forward-thinking and a go-getter who wants to make your own luck in the world, the system trains you to be a cog in the machine. Unless you're ready to live a life where you're not a cog in the machine, you better pay attention.
I mean, it's not like you're gonna get rejected from community college for getting C's in high school.
Nope.
Then you go to the community college and then you transfer to the university that you want to graduate from, and you get the same job as everybody else could get, except you're more intelligent and industrious. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I would have come up with a different game plan if I could tell my past self.
I do think that for the most part, some of the most damage that's done by our society right now is like the Hollywood machine still pushes the idea that you have to go to college to be successful, and they still push it as this American dream in movies and television, like first in your family to go to college, when that really means is first in your family to fall into crippling debt for something that won't actually have a return on its investment.
Yeah, that was weirdly a huge theme in Lady Bird.
Yep.
Did you ever watch that one?
But I'm just saying that is still something that they do all the time, right? Mm-hmm. They still push the idea that you need to go to college, to a 4-year college to become very successful. But weirdly enough, we now live in the age where the next generation, meaning Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they're more industrious, meaning that they think of themselves as a brand. And they...
I don't know how well that works out.
I'm not saying it's going to work out for all of them, but they have to learn how to think for themselves and get ahead of the world.
Thank you, guys. Well, we'll get to that in the next topic. New Guy Don't Haze Me said, just curious, it seems like Sarah joined you guys on in the show once a week for a while, but lately she's only been on maybe once or twice in the last couple of months. Did she take a step back? Yes, she did.
Well, yes. Plus, she's over, we're in a different location than we used to, or like the rest of the company is in a different location.
I think he means Sarah that was on more often than the other Sarah who's on Gamermates.
But yes, she's taking a step back. She's got other stuff going on.
Shane H. Wilder said, never doubt the show. Even lesser episodes are always bangers. If you're past 150K, then you're doing something right every day.
There was a very positive comment that I caught yesterday that said, you guys are on top of your game. And I went, oh.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one too. I was like, you know what? We are.
Slay.
Did I just serve cunt?
Do one more.
Shane H. Wilder said, Mary's eye twitching. Is Cashman around?
Could be.
Yeah, he's doing some weird stuff to the energy in the room.
All right, let's hold off on the rest.
Okay.
Speaking of Gen Z, which we were just getting into.
Gen Z has some really strange ideas about what makes them an attractive candidate to hire at a company. And almost none of it has to do with their actual qualifications or work ethic. And most of it is to do with their personality, vibes, and the amount of pop culture references they can include in a job application. And recently, a millennial boss found this out because she posted about a job opening at her business on TikTok. And it attracted some of the strangest responses in resumes and cover letters she had ever seen in her life. So we're going to show her TikTok video responding to some of the weird stuff that she read in these resumes.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
There is nothing quite as humbling as receiving a ton of Gen Z CV applications as a millennial and just like not being able to understand any of them or even understand why you would do some of the things that they do. For example, no capital letters anyway. So if the sentence says, I like to eat toast.
So they're clearly not thumbnail makers because we're capitalizing everything.
Just send a resume in all caps.
Yes.
No capital I for I. What? And then I had another girl be like, I'm having a brat summer. What? I don't understand. What do you mean you're having a brat summer? I don't even know what brat summer. I mean,
maybe she's not American and she's like, I don't get it. What does Kamala being brat have to do with anything?
But it's Charlie XCX. She's British.
Okay, I know it's something to do with Charlie XCX, who's apparently my twin. But why have you put that in your CV? I'm so confused. And I got one that was like, I hate working because I'm just a girl.
This chick got sent a resume that said, I hate working because I'm just a girl.
Amazing. Now they're talking in Instagram reels.
Okay.
Which is funny, but also, I just feel so old. This whole thing.
Do you know what it is? As the world doesn't. There's certain things, kind of like what you were talking about earlier. There's no whimsy anymore. Correspondingly, there's no realm for like true seriousness anymore either. Irony has infected everything.
You even have to send a job application
with irony. Yeah, like
I don't know if they were being ironic or if they really are just that clueless about the way that the world works.
She can't divorce herself from the irony that fills her, so she puts it somewhere it doesn't belong.
I think they might actually be so clueless about the way that the adult world works that they legitimately thought this was like a selling point. She also said another 23-year-old hopeful hire noted in her application that she is an avid Harry Styles enthusiast with a superpower of being able to manage getting tickets to a sold-out concert. So let's try to see this the most charitable way possible.
She's a go-getter.
She's a go-getter.
And she's a problem solver.
A problem solver, yes. She's not intimidated by a seemingly impossible situation.
Do you know what this is like? This is like when you have to decode pitches for houses that are for sale. It's like quaint bungalow means it's just a tiny shack. Like all the positives are actually negatives. So in this case, all of the negatives are actually positives.
So, okay, that's impressive. You got tickets to a sold out concert, right?
That's good.
That's, you were being industrious and a self-starter. That's another one.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Some of the TikTok influencers' followers here didn't think that these applications were genuine.
They thought she was making it up.
She's actually made 2 follow-up videos to clarify that this was in fact real. So I'm gonna see if I can try to find those.
Okay.
Oh, I wonder.
I'm not gonna lie. I think more than anything, looking for a job and working on a resume has been the bane of my existence my whole life. I hate filling out job applications.
Really? It's gotten worse over time, though.
I hate keeping I'm the worst at putting together a resume. I just recently was thinking, I was like, all ends tomorrow and I have to go search for a new job at some point. I wouldn't even know what to put from my last job because I don't even remember my last. I had to go in my phone through my contacts and look up my last manager's name because I forgot it because it was that long ago. I don't have all the information put down, what my job responsibilities were. I'm like, what did I do at my last job?
But you don't need to worry about that anymore. The next time that you want to put in a job application, literally all you need to do is make a bunch of pop culture references.
That's going to be perfect. There's 20 there.
You're going to instantly get hired. Stone Sting said, I'm late as always, LOL. Mark Calloway is currently on a Legends contract with WWE. He has full access to use the Undertaker name, and Mark said on an interview that he's using to show that he fully retired from wrestling.
So he's using his real name to
he's
kind of
dissociating
divorce
from the persona.
Because he's not the Undertaker, he's just Mark Calloway now.
Okay.
Mean Mark Calloway.
So this TikToker said, while I'm sure all these people are good vibes, this is just not the kind of thing that I want when you're going to send me CVs and cover letters.
It doesn't indicate any level of seriousness or ability to do the job at hand.
She said, I need some level of professionalism. We don't know each other. I'm going to be using my money out of my business to pay you. So you have to convince me that that's a good idea.
Okay, so stop right there. What you just hit is that's the nail on the head.
Yeah.
They don't realize this is the same type of, it kind of correlates to the envy a lot of people feel about people who own companies. Why can't you just pay everyone more? Why can't you just do this? They don't actually process the idea that this lady that's hiring you, especially if she's the owner of the company or she's in charge of the company, they don't understand that this person is taking a risk by hiring you, that they're out of pocket if you suck at your job. Just like the same type of weird socialist, communist weirdos who think that just because you work somewhere, you deserve a say in how the company is run. No, that's bullshit. If you're not financially responsible or at putting yourself at risk to make the company better, it doesn't really concern you how the company is run outside of whether you want to do that job or not. It's within your power to say, I don't want to do it, but it's not your job to tell them what to do. Okay? They don't understand that this is a business, that this is real money, real capital. So everything is a joke. Everything is a meme. Everything is Brett Summer.
Everything is Harry Styles.
Why would you even expect them to be professional if they can't even understand the concept of money and free trade?
Yeah, it's like every terminally online communist thinks that in the communist utopia, they're going to be the basket weaver.
Yes, or the artist.
Because it has more meaning. Yeah. And that's another thing I want to talk about. Gen Z cares more about finding purpose in their work than a paycheck. So they don't even value the money.
You can't buy a house with a purpose.
They don't even value the money that they're receiving from this job as much as they value I guess, feeling like validated and affirmed for the job.
Look, it makes sense with what I was saying the other week. I said I was traveling and I said every sign was some type of social justice cause to try and get you to buy their product. Why would it be any different for work?
Every time we talk about stuff like this, I just get such a kick out of it because I, despite being Gen Z, have never had a normal office job.
Yeah.
I doubt I ever will, to be honest. But this just makes no sense to me. I saw a list of the challenges between Gen Z and their bosses who are older than them. Mm. They listed contrasting views on the importance of empathy. First off,
the fact that this isn't gendered is crazy because guys should not care.
Well, I believe Gen Z women are more high performing in the workplace than Gen Z men at this point. Number 2, divergent views on the impact of work on mental health.
Work-life balance.
Disparate views on the importance of work and personal identity. So a decreasing amount of Gen Zers think that their job is important to their identity, but a higher percentage of their bosses wouldn't feel that way.
I mean, back in the day, your job was a lot of people considered their job to be a huge part of who they were. But that was back when you worked for the same company for 30 years and then retired with a pension.
And it also, just in material terms, provided more for you and the people that you love.
Exactly. So there was probably more positive feelings. Imagine somebody who's like, imagine a guy walking around just rocking Uber.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm an Uber dude through and through. I love working for Uber.
This is my whole life. This is who I am. But yeah, Gen Z isn't really in it for the paycheck because they know they're not going to be able to afford a home anyway. So what they've chosen to do with their money is buy treats. Treats. Look, from The Guardian, opinion piece, we live in a treat culture and Gen Z is splurging on snacks. When times are hard, people opt for affordable luxuries. So should you splash out on that highly Instagrammable $19 smoothie from Erewhon?
No, look. I am no stranger to wanting a snack, a treat. I just go to the dollar store.
There is nothing. I mean, I spend my money on some frivolous things, sure. Like I go to Starbucks, but there is nothing that could make me buy a $20 smoothie.
Oh, no.
Never. There's no smoothie good enough. But apparently this is what Gen Z is using their disposable income to buy instead of
because there is no
anything long lasting.
Because there's no amount of disposable income that will ever realistically be built up enough to buy something as meaningful as a home.
Right.
So instead it's I'm going to buy this $20 smoothie.
Right. So you can feel healthy and trendy. I don't know. This is just like
Look, I think there's something there in the idea of learning to appreciate the small things. Like life is long and arduous if you can't appreciate the little things like getting something good to eat or things like that. But it says something more about the culture when there's no possibility of greater joy. So consume.
I don't like this diminutive attitude that Gen Z has about itself, especially Gen Z women. This whole I'm just a girl thing, this whole ooh-woo thing, this
whole... Do you want to explain it?
I like as a treat thing. Or I'm sleepy, whatever, like I'm sleepy maxing, like you're acting like a baby, you know, like that's just kind of embarrassing. It's just like, I'm just a girl. I'm not capable of doing anything. I just like bed rotting and laying in my bed and drinking smoothies from Erewhon and using my BetterHelp therapist. Yeah. Like, it's just so like undignified, and
this has been going on for and
infantilizing.
One of the worst parts of being a millennial growing up in the social media age was like the people who'd be like, I don't like going out on, and I was this person. It's like, I don't like going out and partying. I stay in on Friday nights and watch movies. And it's like, and what?
So what? So are you better than the people who like to go out partying? Like
it's the I'm not like most girls of Friday night activities.
Yeah. It's sort of like the, like, I didn't go to prom girl.
Yeah.
Like that type of thing.
Did you go to prom?
I went 1 year and didn't the other year.
Okay.
Just so I could be contrarian on both sides.
Okay. So nobody can actually say you're one or the other.
Exactly. Never fully commit.
As for sleep maxing and all that stuff, that's just a response to the fact that we live in a culture now that has to turn everything into content, so it needs a name. If you're taking a sleepy girl mocktail, you're just drugging yourself.
You're just drinking lean.
You're just drinking lean. That's okay. But you don't need to give it like a corporate HR approved name. Just say you like drinking cough syrup and Sprite.
Okay, it's crazy how fast we've run out of time, but we need to read some super chats. Greg Duvier said, never apologize to the mob. Is that for Jerry Seinfeld?
I suppose Seinfeld.
Pop Culture Junkie said, looks like your new subs are staying. That's great.
Yes.
Well, I would hope that they would stay.
And watch,
so we don't immediately repel them. One time at Bandcamp said, gatekeep comedy. I think Jerry Seinfeld is the one doing that. Corey Anderson said, I bet Mary snores.
Do you snore?
How would I know? I don't do sleep streams. Tacti Platty said, Mary, Venom is not a superhero you should watch.
Look, when people say superhero movie, that's not what she's saying. Anti-hero, it's in the comic book genre.
Yes. That eye roll was nuclear.
Look, this is what I hate
that
about
eye roll you just did.
That's the stuff I hate about the internet.
Yeah.
It's like
nothing against you specifically.
Not you specifically, Tacti. I'm just saying that what we're saying is like that's the thing that goes on the internet, right? You say one thing and they pick to a corner of your comment, it's like when they say spirit of the law versus the letter of the law.
Yeah.
What is the spirit of what they're saying? But this is what I was talking about earlier. You're just never gonna be able to accurately describe exactly what you mean in any way. When we talk about art, it's one thing for somebody to make a piece of art and then just let it go, and how it's interpreted is how it's interpreted. It's a fool's errand to try and control that. It makes more sense for a person to try and be a little bit more specific and say, like, look, I don't want to be misunderstood, but that's the way of the world.
Sometimes making people feel a certain way is more important than being interpreted correctly.
Yes. Yeah.
Greg Duvier said, say it slowly. Okay. Rest in peace.
Well, you're supposed to say rest in peace.
I guess I did it wrong.
Yes.
Andrew Jacobs said, speaking of Seinfeld, Unfrosted, my fave 2024 movie. Was it really that good?
There you go.
I thought about us reviewing it, but who really cares? Holly Movie Star said, do you think Trump will get the broccoli head vote?
If he gets the broccoli hair cut.
He hasn't started to look like the Zoomers yet. So.
He needs to wear some black shorts with white shoes and white socks.
The shorts, I hate any length of shorts on men. Marco said Brett and Mary should be Wayne's World for Halloween. Well, I'm blonde, so would I be Garth?
I guess. But I wear glasses, so I should be Garth.
We'll switch.
We'll have to give you a wig and make you...
I have the Wayne's World hat, though.
Do you?
Yeah, I could just lend it to you and we'll do that.
You need to buy that.
Easy. Corey Anderson said, I like watching police interrogation videos and ingrown toenail removal videos. Not really into the blackhead videos. I can see the appeal, I guess.
Let's do two more.
Immediately no to all of that.
Just like no.
Weary Traveler said Trunk or Treat ruined Halloween more than anything. Instead of knocking on doors with other kids, you just go from car to car in a parking lot. I know, it's incredibly lame, and so is Halloween in 2024. Pat the Plumber said Halloween is awesome and still exists in my hood.
Well, good. That's a good thing.
I went to your hood and nobody knew you.
It's good.
I went to your trunk or treat and nobody knew you. Shane H. Wilder said, by the time I was 16, we stopped seeing anyone come trick-or-treating. My dad started just buying candy we liked because there was so much of it.
There you have it. That makes perfect sense. Nothing wrong with that. All right, let's go ahead and do some voicemails then.
Yeah, okay? It's up to your discretion, Brett, how many of these we're going to go through.
We're gonna go through a couple of them, and we'll see some of what they are. So let's start out with, because some of these are longer.
Okay.
So I'm going to play the Black Rain one first, which was longer. So make sure it's not one of those. Yes. All right, here we go, guys. And again, for future reference, we will try to do this weekly or bi-weekly. If you are a member of the Timcast Discord, you can go go over there and you can submit voicemail questions. Please do leave it to questions. That makes it the easiest, so there's actual content to interact with.
And can we make it like hopefully under a minute?
Because these are like some of these are long as a minute.
I'm not
53.
trying to be rude, but we gotta make sure everyone gets a chance to be heard.
We'll start with one from Corey Anderson. You submitted a lot. You're
not getting all of these.
We're gonna do the one. I apologize, but let's keep it to one. Here we go.
Brett, Mary, what is the most embarrassing thing that happened to both of you in high school? Since it's Thursday, if Phil's there, same goes for you.
Oh, I don't even know if I can say. You go first.
Can you paraphrase?
Wait, you go first.
Maybe it's just because I'm old. I don't remember. Like, I didn't engage heavily at my.
You never had an embarrassing moment in high school.
I'm sure
really?
I did. No, I'm sure I did. Like, I'm absolutely sure that I did. But I was kind of I was kind of a nobody in high school. Like, the thing is, like, when you skate, all your friends live in different areas. So I didn't hang out with anyone that I went to high school with. So I don't really have a lot of stories outside of a small group of people. All my friends were kind of just other people that skated in other towns. So all my time was spent skating with other people. I don't really have a whole lot of memories of high school. Maybe it was worse though. Maybe it was so traumatic I just blocked it all out.
Give us an embarrassing moment in general.
I have no idea.
I'm trying
This
to.
is not me saying that I didn't have them. I'm sure that I had plenty of embarrassing moments.
I'm thinking about my embarrassing moments, and I legitimately cannot tell you guys
what they were.
I would if I could.
Yeah.
I simply cannot.
It's an embarrassing moment.
I'll tell you after the show, actually. But
that bad, huh?
I can't tell the audience. It's just not going to happen. It's that bad. It is that bad.
All right. Corey, I apologize. Perhaps I'll think of one over the weekend and I'll bring it back on Monday and try to.
This is from college. It's not actually that embarrassing. I had like one of those Starbucks canned drinks and I opened it at the back of the class at my 8:30 and it was really, really effing loud for no reason.
You just caught like some corner of the room.
I don't know what happened.
Okay.
It just, and then my professor was in the middle of a lecture and then he just stops and turns around and everyone turns around and looks directly at me as I'm sitting in the back of the room and he's like, wow. And then he just kept going.
He had to draw attention to it.
Yeah. The embarrassing moments that I'm not telling you are
actually bad.
Many, many times worse than that. Let's listen to one other voicemail because I don't want to run out of time to do our little reaction.
What was the other one that I wanted to...
Anything that stood out to you is fine.
Let's do... well, maybe we'll do Greg Duvier and DC&C here at the end. We'll do DC&C.
Hello. It's time to address my favorite conspiracy, Brett the Secret Frostback. This is my impression of Canadian Brett.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, in a way, like totally for sure. Pop culture crisis today. We're talking about Justin Bieber, Colby Smulders.
How are you so good at that?
Hot chick from All of the Queens, the Archer. Oh yeah.
I don't think I've ever said Kobe Smulders' name in my life out loud, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Got me some Timmy Hortons Timbits already, buddy guy.
I've never had Tim Hortons in my entire life. I was not introduced.
You should, though.
I was never introduced to Tim Hortons until I was in Michigan with Olivia, and they had Tim Hortons there. And even then, I didn't get any because I don't drink coffee.
I played hockey, don't you know?
I did play hockey.
For sure, you hosers.
He got you there.
Oh, Mary, tu es très jolie. Je suis fou de toi. Tabernacle!
The little French at the end?
That was nice.
Okay.
I guess this would be
Greg Duvier?
a question for Brett for Cute of the Day. How new do the photos of our cute pets have to be?
They don't have to be new.
Not at all.
Not at all.
We've gotten pet pictures from like the 90s before.
You
on
can submit
Polaroids.
whatever you want, guys. So guys, please go ahead and do that and submit for Cute of the Day and submit your questions on the Timcast Discord. It is under PCC Collins. All right.
Okay. Now I am really excited for this next segment. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of viewing, I think maybe one of the very first hate videos about our channel from a channel called Eric Debunks. It's titled Pop Culture Crisis, Outraged by Victoria's Secret Fashion Show, Including Trans Models, Timcast Garbage. And this person's name is Eric, spelled A-I-R-R-I-C-K. So your parents did you dirty, but we are going to react to this video and
first let's
not
show the
like
thumbnail.
debunk it. Like, we're just gonna laugh at it because it's hilarious, and the thumbnail's
amazing.
The thumbnail is just incredible, like chef's kiss.
That is my hair is fantastic.
How did Phil make it out of that unscathed?
Phil got out of it unscathed. That's all right. That's all right.
So it says these guys are the worst. They have a clown wig on Brett and a clown nose on me.
perfect.
If you're listening rather than watching, but we're gonna play it and hear what Eric, who calls himself Bear Daddy Supreme, has to say about our video on Victoria's Secret.
Here we go.
I'm bored, and for the first time ever, let's react to Pop Culture Crisis. Okay, a little context of this video. Today they're going to be talking about Victoria's Secret's fashion show and the inclusion of trans models as well as people of different shapes and sizes. So that being said, let's get into this.
The Victoria's Secret fashion show just came back from a long hiatus. They went on hiatus back in 2019 and finally decided to bring it back. And people were really hoping that this would be a return to form for the brand. They'd finally bring sexy back. And that is unfortunately not what happened. They missed.
I mean, the entire brand is built on sex appeal. People have been buying, like Victoria's Secret has been making stuff since their last fashion show. It's not like they just stopped making things. Like, fashion show over, no Victoria's Secret stuff. That's not the way it works.
The fashion show was on hiatus, not the
last fashion show.
brand.
So bringing sexy back, like, I mean, visually, okay, maybe, but they've been making garments.
Wait, can we pause just a second? I'm not even bringing this up for no reason, but this guy, this YouTuber, he is gay, okay? So he does think himself an authority on sex appeal and what appeals to straight men despite being gay. We'll continue now.
Okay.
2018, since the last fashion show, which I believe was either 2018 or 2019.
It's the mark again.
Dudes.
Well, dudes and women. I think that this was
wait, hold on.
It's the mark again.
Dude.
Brand.
Okay, so the guy saying this, a little bit of my gaydar is kicking in here. The guy that's saying
the gaydar
dudes is giving off like Rent Daddy vibes. Like he works in adult entertainment.
We're gonna tell Phil you said that.
Like that's the vibe it's giving. Like you pay for his VODs.
It's giving projection.
His OF.
Is what it's giving.
That's what it's giving. But let's hear what he has to say here.
And it finally brings sexy back, and that is unfortunately not what happened. They missed the mark again.
Dudes.
Well, dudes and women. I think that this was the Victoria's Secret fashion show at its prime, appealed to both men and women because it was fun, it was pink, it was glittery. All of the models were just seen smiling and giggling, and they had bouncy hair, and everything was just so girly, but it was also okay for women to be hot at the time in the 2000s. That is
so weird. Okay for women to be hot. I don't know why this narrative is painted that people who are more progressive don't want to see attractive people. I think the thing is there was an unhealthy standard.
Remember when they put out that that article about the conservative hot girl trend and tried to like get a bunch of academics to explain why men find hot women hot?
Yeah.
Like there is clearly some disconnect happening here.
Because back in the day, you would be able to have those discussions without fear for somebody telling you that it was a sign of greater misogyny or it had something to do with unrealistic beauty standards. There was a certain level of frivolity that could be had around that topic that's just not allowed, that oftentimes is not done anymore. It has to always be a discussion about something that is deeper and more academic and lamer.
Well, I think they were like mad about the lack of diversity in the conservative movement in that example. But let's keep going.
Next Top Model. If you ever watched that show, probably the biggest model competition in the world. Iterations of it all over the place. If you go back and you look now at some of the older seasons, you will see just how unhealthy the standards were. We're talking about like body shaming, eating habits, just very unhealthy.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay, to your point, we are in the middle of the Ozempic apocalypse in Hollywood, which is just as unhealthy as people not eating food. Nothing actually changes in any of these industries. They have shifted the focus onto progressive themes that try to paint them as good people in a way, but it doesn't mean that anything's any better in these businesses. If anything, I would say a lot of the virtue signaling that is done by these companies is done to cover up a more nefarious nature. Like I said, everything you see now is an advertise from a company. Everything that they advertise, it's some cause, whether it's climate change, whatever it may be. And if that's your marketing scheme, sure. But it belies the idea that you're allowed to just sell a product because it's a good product, rather than saying, not only should you buy this product, here's what we're doing for other people. And usually it's because they're actually, what was the thing that I just saw the meme today? It said, I would rather companies stop donating money to causes and just stop making products that are harming us. This was in relation to the food that we consume in this country. Mm-hmm. So much of the food is basically poison right now.
Look, Brett, you're doing too much right now. None of these arguments are going to land with someone who's just obsessed with nitpicking, and he's not making arguments himself. He's just making a bunch of platitudes.
He's not. He hasn't said anything ultra offensive yet.
Well, let's keep listening.
As an industry, and what they've tried to do is pull back a little bit on that unhealthy environment. And so we're not seeing everyone look like copy paste of each other.
They're not doing that for positive reasons. They're not doing that because corporations just developed a conscious all of a sudden.
It's called toxic empathy and toxic positivity. That's like, oh yeah, we totally like want to include all the fat girls, but I'm gonna keep being skinny. That's what it is.
In the modeling industry, in the fashion industry. And so they're acting as if they want to go back to like objectifying and causing women to have these unhealthy standards of beauty.
Women were the target demo for the Victoria's Secret fashion show. They loved watching it. Now they're not watching it. So
I'm not talking about people that don't want to go to the gym or anything like that. I'm talking about the idea that you have to be a sample size. Every woman has to be sample size, which is extremely unhealthy. Not every person's body is designed to look that way.
But not every corporation has to cater to every woman's body size. That's
also,
all I'm saying.
Victoria's Secret offers those sizes. It doesn't mean that they need to show it on the runway. Yeah. No one wants to see that shit. And I have to be honest, no, not every woman needs to be sample size, which refers to 0 or 2, usually.
Okay.
But absolutely no woman is designed to be a size 16. There is no natural, healthy version of being a size 16. Let's continue.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of bullshit that these guys pretend is good for the world. And it's just not. It's not.
It's no longer okay. So I saw some positive takes. Friend of the show, Andrea Muse, said 6 years of woke.
He gave you props
from coming back
in a minute here, I
Morgan
think.
said, the world is healing. Victoria's Secret fashion shows are back. We want the angels, not LGBTQ plus obese models.
I'm sorry, but modernity was always going to push this over the edge. This was never going back to what it was.
Is he straight? My gaydar is going crazy right now. And for people that are not aware what gaydar is, it's like a gay person.
Wait, who doesn't know what gaydar is?
Yeah, everyone's heard of that.
On our own. Like, it's like pheromones.
Well, that's very rude on his part to do such a thing.
I think Bear Daddy Supreme just has a tendency to assume things.
That's
are
very
giving
rude.
off vibes for me. And it's a little weird because this is about Victoria's Secret and sex appeal, and they're so adamantly against it. It's giving like self-hatred a little bit.
It's giving self-hatred.
Wait, what does he mean we're against it? No, we were saying that we want the best thing for the company would be to go back to promoting actually hot models, not social justice related topics and body positive models is all that was being said.
And models who are biologically male.
And let's be fair here, guys. When we talk about this stuff, Mary finds this topic very, very interesting. I don't think
you're kind of just along for the ride.
I'm just along for
it's
the
weird
ride
that you're getting most of the heat, but let's see what he
this
has
guy
to say.
Who looks like someone that does adult content for a living but only does it for money. So you're not going to catch him with a boyfriend. And the one down on the end there, hold on, let me look up his socials. All right, so here's his socials. Holy crap. I want to remind you guys, this is a Tim Pool funded pop culture discussion podcast. So it's no surprise that they take this angle with everything. But yeah, he's giving me like I'm on Grindr.
The best part here.
I don't know if he is or not. Is he out?
This guy might have a thing for you.
Yeah,
I think he might like
Brett
you.
Is out or not? Because this is definitely giving me those kinds
He would
of
swipe
vibes.
right.
All right, back to this.
The best part there is like, so I used to have the same old like Timcast picture, like of Mia as the background, as my profile picture.
Yeah.
And I changed it. And it was a whole thing between me and Olivia where she's like, oh, I love your new profile picture. I'm like, she's like, why did you change? I'm like, look, it was a moment of whimsy. That was literally the word that was used.
He was like, it's giving whimsical.
Yeah, it is giving whimsical.
Okay, move to like 15 minutes in and we'll see a little bit more of...
I think he had a crush on me.
I think so too. I think Bear Daddy Supreme likes Brett.
Why can't it
also,
be this
he's framing it like it's a bad thing. Like he's framing it
right,
like
it's like if you're
being
gay.
rude to, he was framing it like being gay is bad, which is weird because I don't think that there's anything wrong with being gay, but he's using it as some type of attack on me, which doesn't really make any sense because I don't really have a problem with gay people.
Look, it makes perfect sense to me. So he thinks you're a homophobe, right? I'm actually the homophobe here, but he thinks you're homophobic. So he is going to accuse you of secretly being gay because he views that as like a shameful thing to be. But it's weird because if you say something racist against like black people, no one accuses you of secretly being black.
It's
just the most bizarre argument.
I mean, I guess he probably doesn't watch the show much other than the clip because we've spoken at length on multiple occasions. Look, I am just as liberal as anybody was 10 years ago. I still am in most respects. Thinking that beautiful women should be the front line of the Victoria's Secret fashion show
Don't you know that makes you a Christo-fascist?
In a liberal position. If anything, I would imagine that the farthest right would think that the Victoria's Secret fashion show shouldn't exist at all.
Also, in the description of this video, he says, join the revolution, become a part of the Ericverse today, help us fight back against the algorithm that funnels negative content to potential fans.
Well, what does that mean? Like,
it doesn't mean anything.
So the thing is, like, we cover this stuff. I would like to think that most of the time we have a pretty reasonable and even keel discussion. Even if we take one side of the aisle as far as our approach, we don't approach any of this stuff in bad faith, and we have a discussion about a bunch of topics. He clearly disagrees with us, which is fine. That's his business. Me and you disagree with stuff all the time, but to pretend like your content isn't also doing the same thing, we're dunking on celebrities who say stupid stuff. You're dunking on us because you think us dunking on celebrities that say stupid stuff is bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know, pick your poison. Do you want to follow the channel that covers celebrities doing stuff, or do you want to follow the channel that covers the celebrities covering that covers the people covering celebrities doing dumb stuff?
He's not exactly doing the positivity, the work for positive content, because, if he wanted to fight back against negative content in the algorithm, he would create, instead of a commentary video on our channel, he would record a 32-minute long video praising the Victoria's Secret fashion show for how great and beautiful and inclusive and diverse it was. But that's not what he did, and I think that says everything you need to know. But some of these comments were funny. People calling us chuds. I said, it was funny. One person said their content is just awful, an endless parade of condescending negativity, as if that's not what we just watched. And when Mary stops gawping at the camera like a haunted Victorian doll, then she can criticize other people's looks.
It's weird because I don't think of our channel as like, look, we dunk on celebrities, we dunk on people saying stupid stuff, but I don't think of it as negativity most of the time because we're just hanging out. We're just hanging out and talking.
We're good over here. Your gaydar is legit on these two, Eric. I'm straight, but I got a gay best friend for 20 plus years. These two guys, meaning you and Phil, definitely giving vibes.
Does that mean like
giving vibes?
By the
Whoa!
way, that was a very big super chat there.
$500 super chat from Chris G. Thank you for being good humans. I appreciate that. We appreciate you. That's your first super chat on the channel?
That is crazy. Thank you so much for that.
I don't know if you're new here, but welcome and thank you so much. We're going to have to trigger all of those right now.
Yes.
There's going to be so much money on the floor by the end of this episode. Wow. Thank you. I guess we're going to just sit here and bask in our negativity.
It's so
bathe in it.
I'd like to think that I spend most of the time trying not to be negative, or at least just having a.
Oh, I'm the negative one.
Mary's the negative.
I'm the monster.
Yet I'm the one this guy was picking on. That's just rude.
He was like picking on me a little bit because he saw that I have the word fashion in my bio. And he's like, she thinks she's a fashion expert, but she doesn't know what she's talking about. She's not really a fashion expert.
For those who don't know, Chris sent a $500 super chat, which is equal to 5 crisis parties.
Whoa.
Oh,
one ended up abruptly.
yeah, we have to. Remember when a bunch get triggered at once? Sometimes that can cause problems. So.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah. See.
It's going haywire.
Yeah. It's acting out today.
Okay, so that was 2 down, 3 to go.
We'll have to wait and see if it's not broken here.
I think we're good.
The dogs are eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
See? It's being weird.
Messed up again.
It's very weird.
Okay, now 2 more.
2 more.
There's no way I'm going to be able to pick up all this money.
There's a crisis with the crisis party.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat.
Okay. Was
One
that
more.
number 5?
No, there's one more there.
I'm not
Chris
good at math.
Chris brought the show to a halt, and for that we applaud him.
Thank you.
We applaud him. One more. And there we go.
Eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat.
Okay.
And scene.
He says, "Please stop. That wasn't the point." I'm not sure if he's talking to us.
What does that mean?
Okay, we're going back. We're good to go.
I don't know what.
I don't know if he meant like we stopped the show, like because we had to stop the show to trigger all the crisis
Oh, well,
parties.
it is his first super chat,
Yes.
so he may not know about the crisis parties.
Thank you so much, Chris, for that. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank
We
you.
really do. The show is back on track.
On that note, we should probably finish reading all of these super chats.
I do
before we
also,
end.
before we do, I want to say, guys, don't go and flood this dude's channel with a bunch of bullshit. Like, let the dude make his stuff.
No,
It's
I mean,
not
I
the
didn't think
point.
you were going to anyway because you guys are mostly normal people.
Yes, just leave it be. It's stupid. It's fine. He's allowed to have his opinions on whatever it is we do. It is what it is. That's it's funny because you know what it kind of is. It kind of makes me feel like a celebrity, right? Because we dunk on
Haters make you famous.
We dunk on celebrities,
Yeah.
because that's the thing, right? They're in Hollywood. That's the career they chose, and I guess we're open to the same criticism. And if he disagrees with us, that's his business.
I guess it's true what they say.
Here's the problem, Mary. I'm
haters.
too rational and too normal to react to these videos in a way that's actually interesting.
What do you mean?
like I'm not gonna be like, fuck this guy, you know? Like,
it didn't make me angry. I thought it was hilarious.
I just I see this stuff and I go,
You didn't laugh?
I don't laugh at this stuff. It's like, but I don't.
I mean, I
watch-
think the whole concept of someone making a hate video, not even hate, like a debunking video on our channel, is just, it's like hilarious to me. Like, it's so absurd that it made me laugh, and the thumbnail was funny too. So
I feel a little objectified, to be honest.
You do? Okay, Greg Duvier said, I pick Drep of the day.
Derp of the day, I think he meant.
I don't know, man. I'm just reading them. Jesse Saxon said Halloween decor got weird, gory, and trashy in the 90s. I'm only in it for the slutty police women. Okay. Not that Jon Stewart said reporter was trying to promote himself from celebrity news to political news.
Who was?
The guy interviewing Jojo Siwa.
Oh, yeah. You know.
I don't know what that was about. Okay. Corey Anderson said...
Oh! Last one. We can keep going.
Is this from before?
I think it's just that was the last one.
Okay.
I didn't trigger that one.
Y'all think the Cranberries song Linger is about a fart? I have been thinking about this all day. Hashtag better out than in.
That's depressing.
Not that Jon Stewart said, damn it, Corey. And Kara McLean said, I'll never forgive you guys for torturing Dane so bad with Cringe and the topic choices when he was on to the point that he left forever.
Oh, that's not what happened.
Well, we have a $50 super chat from Mr. Wombat. Thank you. Congratulations on the hate vid. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Don't worry, we will. It only motivates us further to keep leveling up. Haters make you famous.
So weird of all the things to have it be Victoria's Secret.
Why that? You know, not like Rachel Zegler or any of these other like things that are actually about celebrities.
Like yeah, because it's not related to like a specific person. Usually when it
he's like, no, you need to look at fat chicks in their underwear. And I should just say, as a woman in her 20s who is the target demographic for who they want to buy their underwear,
yeah,
I think my opinion matters just a teeny tiny bit more than this middle-aged gay guy. Just saying. Just saying. I feel like my take on the Victoria's Secret fashion show means more than his.
Isn't that kind of like at the end of the day, that's what really matters is like, did it actually...
I'm the customer.
Not just that, but like, did the show do good numbers?
I doubt it.
Did it make them any money? Like, did it raise any more brand awareness?
I only saw negative things.
It's also really funny too because those topics are perfect for me because I'm so divorced from caring about them that it doesn't really matter. Like there are topics that piss me off.
Sure.
That we talk about.
Just not that one.
The one about the Wicked lady being mad that somebody made a fan edit of her. Like that's the stuff
that made
where
you
I'm
feel something.
I'm like, why would you be like that? Why wouldn't you appreciate somebody making fan art of you?
We have a 20 from Pete Donovan. Mary, I 100% empathize with your take on dogs. Though some breeds are nice, I've never been a fan in general. I would gladly raise a whole bunch of human babies before I ever adopt one fur baby. Dog mom culture is toxic.
Nope.
I mean, to say nothing of dog mom culture.
Dog mom is weird.
Like, I'm not even trying to make it a political thing. Regardless of any of that, I just don't like their demeanor. The dogs are always up in your space. They're always in your business. They're so easily excitable. And I just like that cats kind of want nothing to do with you. That's my favorite thing about them.
Yep.
And they clean themselves. So I'm glad someone agrees with me. All right. Kara McLean... Mr. Mooseknuckle said, IMO mainstream comedy has basically boiled down to my vagina and unintelligible screeching. Bert Kreischer. The only ones keeping comedy alive is Kill Tony. I don't watch it, do you?
No, but they're right that at least mainstream comedy, when it comes from a lot of the stand up from women, it's very sexualized.
Not even like sexualized. It's just like I'm unhygienic.
Yeah.
Corey Anderson said, coffee lady pregnant confirmed.
No.
That is not at all confirmed, nor even suggested.
Correct.
A-Team Frostback said, come to Gibson's, Brett. Bring Mary and Phil work right off. What is he talking about?
Is that a coffee place?
I don't know. Shane H. Wilder said, dear applicant, thank you for your resume. Unfortunately, it's giving Skibbity Ohio Riz. Best of luck in your future mewing streak. I love that.
Exactly. That's what somebody can put as
me going to my job at the mewing factory.
They can put on their job application like the length of their latest mewing streak as a qualification.
The based clone trooper said a group of people who need to find validation from the world despite living in absolute delusion. This sounds familiar. We'll see if this problem group has a 40% chance of taking care of itself. I am moving on. Cubano 1986. I'm not reading that. Red Snow said praise PCC and have a good weekend, Crisis Actors. You too.
Thank you.
Tacti Platty said, Mary, you've literally used I'm just a girl response on this show in response to Phil. Are you reversing your position on its use? Nice to mature. I don't know what that was in reference to. So.
The job application thing about.
No, I mean, when did I say it on the show?
When did you say it to Phil? I don't know.
Because if I did, it was, you know, because it's a bit. Because we're on a show. I wouldn't say that on a job.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't say that on a job application.
I'm sorry, but yeah, the Gibsons part, the Gibsons reference, yeah, it is from Murder in a Small Town. That's the name of the town.
Oh, you're a fake fan. You're a fake fan.
I thought it, but didn't think that that's what they were talking about. Because
Okay.
why would that come up right now?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You're bringing people into the show.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I guess.
You're making
It's
it
like-
popular.
Yeah.
Tacti Platty said limited text in Super Chat, but I wasn't trying to be pedantic about Venom, more trying to convince to watch it. It's not a stereotype hero movie. It's fun. Well, that's what everyone said about Deadpool, and I still didn't like Deadpool, so what am I supposed to think here?
I mean, I just think genre-wise, it's not going to help because Mary's not going to like the genre. So
It's not my genre.
It's not her genre.
I don't even know what my genre is, but it's not that. Pat the Plumber said, got caught pulling a fire alarm. 'Twas embarrassing. Well, why'd you do that?
Why were you doing that?
You just wanted to F up everyone's day? Surinko Productions said, it's giving he has a crush on Phil, LMAO. Literally, yes.
That's why he left Phil unclownified.
Yeah, he's smitten.
He's hoping that Phil will take that as a sign of affection.
Not that. Jon Stewart said, Phil, failed musician, adult film star, I guess. LOL. Yeah, it was just like, you see someone's face and you immediately are like, they look like a porn star. It's like, I don't know, maybe you just watch too much porn, bro.
Yeah.
Omega Red Fan said, when Palpatine tells Anakin you're fulfilling your destiny.
Is that in
What is
relation to
that
the previous super chat?
About, I don't know. Shane H. Wilder said, dude legit thought he ate, LOL, and what's with him playing y'all at 1.5 times speed? We consider doing the same to him because
I think that's rude to do that because everyone comes off worse when it's played at a faster speed.
you sound more smarmy that way.
Well, not me. Like I sound worse. Like I already talk too fast, and I'm already like my voice is already too high. So they're like, if you play it faster, it's even worse.
I listen to us on 2 times speed a lot.
I hate it.
You probably think that's crazy, but I
It's the
do.
worst. I mean, you like stuff at 2 times speed anyways, which
No,
is
I
crazy.
don't. No, I only, if I need to watch something for the show, I'll watch it on 2 times speed. But if I'm watching something or listening to it for, you know, my own enjoyment, I would not do that.
Yeah, it's crazy that people
If it's for utility purposes. Surinko Production said, it's giving he has a crush on Brett too, LMAO. They're both just looking like a snack on that video. He couldn't resist.
Well, I take that as a compliment. That would make me the worst dressed gay person ever, right? I wear
Yeah.
joggers and a black shirt every day.
If Brett's gay, why does he not care about fashion like me?
She cares about fashion.
It doesn't make
not
sense.
me.
Halls and the Kid said, Bear Daddy wants to be all that remains. Ooh. Pat the Plumber said, gay guy proving Brett's a hottie since 2024. So true.
Good to know that I've nailed down the gay male demographic for the
Yeah.
show. Helping out.
Shane H. Wilder said, sorry, Olivia, Bear Daddy's gaydar is going off with Brett. Might want to check him for a Grindr profile.
She'll have to check when we get home. I'll have to frantically be like, see, look, it's not on my phone. Nowhere to be found. It's not in a hidden folder.
Tacti Platty said, Mary, I don't think you're afraid of the gays. You're right. I'm not afraid, but I'm not going to say how I really feel.
I just don't get it because that was the most, like, we were talking business sense.
We were
this
mainly
show will
talking about the women in the show, not the transgender.
We didn't talk about
models
them.
as much.
I don't think that, I didn't even remember that even
It
coming
came up, but
I,
you know.
it was more like, why are the older models still in the best shape other than the Hadids being the best looking one? And
But that's unhealthy, Brett. Yeah. That's unhealthy. Because they're not chubby enough, so they're not healthy.
I want to
And I'm like, I don't care if they're healthy.
Yeah.
Who cares about being healthy?
This is another reason why we can't do stuff like this. It's like I want to give you like the corporate answer of like I don't care about health. I want to talk about. It's not
about what?
It's like the point is nothing to do with. He's talking about societal standards, right? Like I don't care about societal standards. I don't care. Like I don't go to superhero movies to see people that look like everybody else, and I don't want to see ads with people that look like everybody else. The whole point is for advertising and characters in movies and television to be aspirational, and there's a natural inclination towards beauty when it comes to visual mediums.
Yeah, I mean, that all makes logical sense.
That is my hot take.
But I'm going with my instinct right now. And what my instinct says is skinny model look better. And I don't really need to think about it any deeper than that.
Yeah.
And I care less about, you know, Bella Hadid's health than her doing her job, which is looking good in the underwear. Like,
this is also
who cares?
A sign of this is a problem with the culture, right? Which is where you have to now care about society as a whole. You're not programmed. I'm not programmed. No one is actually programmed to care about everybody.
Like it's also weird for a man to be telling a woman what she should think of like the way that women are represented in media. It's like, I'm not sitting there watching the Victoria's Secret fashion show thinking like I hate myself because I can never look like Bella Hadid. Like I wouldn't want to trade places with Bella Hadid, but I like that she looks like Bella Hadid. You know? Thank you.
They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, eat the cat.
Anyway, Holly Movie Star said the litmus should be what would men okay, I'm not gonna say the rest of that. 2. That's Denzatastic said, talk about an actual hostage party by bringing the show to a stop. Ayo, Borax, so something.
But thank you, Chris, for the unwitting hostage party right at the middle of the show there.
Yes.
We very much appreciate it.
Thank you for that. Corey Anderson said, Mary, how dare you? I am not normal-ish. We already knew you weren't normal. That's Denzatastic said, I'm not reading that.
Okay.
Corey Anderson said, Mary, I feel like gay tuber wears more Victoria's Secret. Look, we're not going to be commenting on his underwear or lack thereof. Pop Culture Junkie said, having worked as talent in live radio and TV, I just can't imagine doing a show where money randomly flies in front of my face.
You get used to it.
It doesn't even register to us anymore. No. Professor Freakoff said, if you like cats, you have toxoplasmosis.
Uh-oh.
But where did I get it in the first place?
Correct.
Right?
Good question.
I don't think I have toxoplasmosis. I just have that brainworm that makes me want to kiss cats. Alvin McGough said, most of you are normal. Yeah, I mean, I think most of you are normal. I could be wrong. I don't think that you would go flood this guy's video and try to ruin his life. Tacty Platty said, Mary, I accept your rejection of I'm just a girl. Well, okay. That's Stanzatastic said, that dude right, my vagine dis and dat. Vag comedy so doom, happy Friday.
Thank you for that.
The brain rot is crazy.
There's a lot of brain rot.
Shane H. Wilder said Tacty eats shrimp tails. Can he be trusted? No, definitely not. Tacty Platty said, Mary, I didn't realize people told you that about Deadpool 2. Makes sense. Deadpool is far more vulgar than Venom. To me, Venom over Deadpool. The vulgarity isn't necessarily the problem.
It didn't bother
though.
Mary. The vulgarity didn't bother Mary. It's just not her. I'm like speaking for you right now, but that's kind of true, right? Like, I don't, given everything we know, Mary's never been, I've never said anything that offended Mary because it was vulgar.
I don't think so.
I said I don't think that's ever happened.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've heard it all. But this is relevant. I want to bring this up.
Okay.
It was a specific kind of vulgarity that doesn't offend me, but it makes me cringe.
Okay.
And it was this very millennial core, like, use of, curse words as filler words. It was present in Deadpool, and it cringed me out. And I saw that actually.
Just excessive swearing.
It wasn't even the fact that it was excessive. It was just used in like a cheeky way, like, ooh, I'm being naughty, like.
Yeah.
And I saw that actually Brett Cooper posted a video about this exact phenomenon the other day, saying Gen Z is tired of millennials' vulgarity, and it was pointing out like slutty vegan, like brands of food that are named after stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just try hard. It wasn't the fact there were curse words. It was the way they did it.
Maybe that's okay, so I do have a sexist take. Excessive swearing from women is extremely annoying.
What makes it excessive?
When it's if you take that type of Deadpool
What's the benchmark?
humor, it's just if you're saying the F word a lot and you're swearing regularly, it just feels like you're trying to do it.
I definitely curse a lot off air.
Not that much.
I think I do. Maybe you just don't notice it anymore, but I do.
Maybe my benchmark is just higher for what maybe that's just proving how rational I am. Like, it has to be really, really bad.
It must be, yeah. Did you have like a specific...
I can't think of an example off the top of my head.
Okay. Tacti Plati said they project with their misuse of phobes.
Misuse of phobes, maybe?
I don't know. Corey Anderson said, Mary, as a connoisseur of women, Bella Hadid has nothing on you.
That was quite a compliment.
Thanks. That Stanzatastic said, Brainrot, so good.
That was a lot of Brainrot.
Are we all caught up on the Super
We're all
Chats?
caught up. All right. Before we go, guys, would you hit the like button on this video, please, and subscribe here if you have not subscribed here yet already. Again, we've got a lot of new viewers. We hope that this show has been something that you've enjoyed and that you'll take the time to subscribe to the channel and check out our live streams every week.
This just convinced all the new people from the past week to immediately jump ship, I'm sure.
Yes.
You can send me validation, though, on Instagram at MaryArchived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived.
If you guys want to follow me, Instagram and Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify, if you would prefer to listen rather than watch this show. Specifically, Spotify and Apple Podcasts, you can rate and review over there, so please go ahead and check that out. And if you want to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook and not TikTok, because we were banned on TikTok, at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Mary, there's a couple more there.
High Voltage 75 said 200K by Halloween. Let's get it, PCC.
That would be cool.
I think we can do it.
Yeah.
I believe in us.
And one more there.
Stanzatastic said, wait, what? No, don't leave. Also, congrats on 150K. Well, I guess we could stay here if you have more to tell us, but we're on our way out for the weekend.
With that being said, guys, stay tuned. Remember, we have a special episode on Monday with a special guest. Andy Signor is going to be in the studio with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot to talk about. Come back on Monday. We'll see you guys then. Later.
Oh, we have one more. Shane H. Wilder said, have a blessed weekend, everybody. That's so wholesome. Have a blessed weekend. Bye.
Bye, guys.